All right, we are live. It's Friday, March 5th at 5:05 p.m. This is my second my second live streaming session today. The first one was abruptly cut short due to a surprise guest at our house, but I guess that's just the perils of live coding. You never know what's going to happen. So I just want to pick up where I left off. I'm migrating my blog from Jekyll to Eleventy, and I was working through some issues getting my posts moved over and processed. So where I left off was, I'm going to grab, this is my blog, which is currently running on Jekyll. And I'm going to grab the post from it. Let's get rid of that sidebar. This was the post that was causing trouble because after being interrupted, I figured out the issue. So I'm going to walk through it again and then maybe move a little bit beyond where I was. All right. So let me grab. Okay. Here's the post. I moved it over. I just threw it into the existing template that I'm using. And if I run, those aren't going to be helpful. npx 11, and I know I should set up a watch command. If I run it, it's going to break. And I thought this was an issue with, this is going back to another issue. I'm going to get rid of these because I wrote the CFC parser for Prism.js, but it hasn't been merged yet. So while we're waiting on that, did that break or did that work? That worked. Why did that work? Probably because I didn't save. It was not supposed to work. Let me open up post. And is this as it was previously? Yeah. So that should not have worked. It was not working before. And I thought I had figured out why. Why did it work this time? Let's just try running that again. Now I'm really confused because that was not working previously, and I had made changes to the site to account for it. Let's jump back to this post here and show it. This is saved. This is the template I was working with, and the last time I need to figure out how. Okay, so let's jump over to the Eleventy docs. I want to figure out how to clear out the built files. So we'll hop over to that's not Eleventy, and this is Nunjux, which I was looking at before. So let's go Eleventy. Right, Eleventy.dev. Eleventy.dev with the numbers. Quick link to the docs. And okay, let's see if it's in quick tips. No. I want to get it to tutorials. Clear out the rendered files. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Because I'm wondering if that is what's going on here. When it builds, obvious to some, it's putting my posts in the dist folder in post, and you can see that there's lots of files in here, different casing. That's because I was working on slugifying these. I want to get this cleared out to make sure that I'm getting a clean build. So I want to see if there's a command with Eleventy that will do that for me. So using data configuration, slug, shortcodes, custom text, template languages, plugins. Not that. Command line usage. That's what I'm doing. We know where we're outputting to. We know the formats. So help is where I'm going to end up going if I can't get it working any other way. Eleventy has its own watch, which I will do that next. I don't need a dry run. I don't need to change the config. Okay, careful with format HTML. None of those are what I'm looking for. I thought there would be a way. All right, you know what? Rather than saying I'm going to check the help, I'm actually going to check the help here. And I have to go back and see. Is it just -- help? Yes. All right, clear. npx 11d -- help. When in doubt, help. Version input, output, serve watch, formats, quiet, config, prefix, dry run, and help. That's not the information that I'm looking for, and I might honestly need to do something else in order to get that cleaned out. Pass through file copy. All right, let's try the old DuckDuckGo, and we'll say Eleventy clean dist before build. I might need to just set up an npm command to do that. This is O'Reilly. So this might just be we'll check some posts here. We'll check some posts, see if we can add this. Configuring layout, rewriting, webpack, improving cache busting, prod cleaning our prod build. Since both our development and prod builds end up in the same place, I'd recommend cleaning the directory before programming prod build to ensure there aren't any leftover files to support all operating systems. Use rimraf. So we'd install it, update package JSON, and then we'd have an ability to delete dist. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at our package JSON just to begin with, to see what we have in here. We've got build. We might just want build probably cleans. Oh, we have a clean. Nice. It's all here. I just needed to look at the code. So dev npm run all clean build. All right. So if we do npm run dev. And we'll check our dist in a second. All right, well that worked that time. I'm going to move you over. We're going to look in dist, and dist has, we're supposed to be in posts, or post. Post has been cleaned, although this is still broken. I got to fix that. Although that's, check why that didn't work. All right, so that built fine. That was nice. All right, so npm run dev is what we want. Nice. Now, okay. Well, the issue that I had previously encountered was the way that the slugs were being generated. We should be able to see this on the site, actually, since it built this. Let's see if it's on. This is what I was running into before, because it didn't actually. So wait a second. Let's check those logs. We ran this. Well, it ran. Did it run quiet with rundev? Copied 4 files. You'll notice that. So I'll show you my issue. Though I assume my issue is still an issue. So we're in source here. We're in posts. We have this dead beef file. And I put the title, my title, here. Now, obviously, I don't want my URL to have a colon in it. That's the biggest issue. Although, now that I think about it, I don't think this was the... I don't remember if that was the actual post that was causing... Sorry, let me control Z a little bit here. Was it the time zone one? It was the time zone one that was causing the issues. Okay. Push you all the way forward. You're fine. So we ended up in dist with a... Well, we can see it. Well, in dist, we ended up with a site that had a... In post. If you can see this. I'm not sure. Am I close enough? Probably. Right here, TIL, we have a semicolon. A semicolon? No, a regular colon in the URL for this page, which is not good or not nice. Now, what I did with those that worked fairly well was in my Eleventy JS config file, I added a filter that just used Slugify to clean up those URLs a little more. So I'm going to hop into the wrong file. I'm going to hop into the wrong file. Here we go. Source includes layouts, and it's using Slug, which is the built-in Eleventy slugger, and I'm going to switch it to Slugify. Hop back down. Now, I don't think that will so that rebuilt, and you can see actually, if you can see, I do have a clean URL here, but I do have everything. So I probably want to just kill that and rerun that to clean out dev, and we'll see what we end up with after that's been run. Building, and it's up and running now. Close. Last page. So everything built without an error. But the issue is that this post, the post that I created right now, is not showing. And I think the reason for that probably is, this is the whole, okay. Now I know why everything's broken. I know why things are not broken. This post is not showing. The reason this post is not showing is because it doesn't have a date. And the date is what this template is using, or I think the date is one of the things that's being used to determine if the post should show. So I'm going to add a date. And this post, the time zone post, was from 2020 on November 30th. So we'll hop over here and we'll say this is 2020 November 30th. So now we've added a date. We're going back down here. Now, this is where I had left off. Things are broken. You'll see here, this was the error I was encountering before. Template render error, toString, can't read property, toString of undefined. This confused me for 35 minutes until I was interrupted earlier this afternoon. And then after I was interrupted, I managed to track it down. So just adding the date, suddenly things break. That's because it's trying to render this template and it's running into something. So I'm going to kill that. And I will show you where the problem's coming from. It is this was a problem not with my code and not with Eleventy, but with the template that I'm using. I eventually figured out the issue had to do with the date and updated date. If I add, I'll show you. If I add an updated date here, like so, if I set it to match, and this won't make any sense because but if I add an updated date, my build will proceed fine. And obviously, that doesn't make sense. Just adding the updated date shouldn't fix things, and you'll see. Oh, actually, my post should be on here and displaying too. shouldn't it? Previous page, next page. Why? Well, still not showing, but not breaking. If I remove the updated date and save, I know this is all fascinating. Updated date is removed and the template is broken. Problems with the updated date, problems with the template. So we'll hop in. Once after 1,000 years, I tracked down that the issue was with the updated date. I was able to figure it out here. What we have here is some if logic. And this is saying if the updated date is defined, display the regular date. And then down here, otherwise, if there's no updated date, display, and then you'll see the updated date. So the if here is backwards. That was the first problem. So if we switch it, if there's an updated date, display both the created and the updated date. And if there's not, then obviously we won't display an updated date. We'll display the created date. And then finally, we have this. I am not terribly familiar with nunjucks, but I found out this is a filter, and it's basically a function. But what it's doing here is it's like creating a string variable that string isn't being used down here, and then this is like a toString method. It's not being applied. So I think what I did and what I think is fine here is we're just going to get rid of that. We don't need to do anything like that. If updated date is here, we are going to display the updated date with this date display filter, and we're also going to display the created date with the date display filter. If there's no updated date, we're just going to show the created on. So change the template. And now if I go back to my post, there's no updated date, and we can build, and you'll see that the build proceeded fine. There was no error. And just to show you that again, I will once again run npm run dev, which will clean everything out, and it'll build it fresh. And the output should go smoothly. Fingers crossed. And we've got this open for the close, third or fourth time. Now, this is here. The issue right now is that my post isn't showing, and I actually figured this out now that I'm remembering from the first time that I was working on this. This template also, how it uses a post tag to determine if things should be shown. So if I add the post tag, then I should have my post showing here on the home page. TIL, the time zone parameter, and CF Monday time functions. I've got my tags in here. Awesome. And my date is correct. And if I click in, my URL here is clean. Although I have a because I have a slash in the URL. So another thing, I have to fix this with my Slugify method. But this post was now generated correctly, and I'll just need to figure out, it looks like there's some differences in how things are parsed. Looks like the handling of footnotes is different, but post is here, URL is mostly fine. And long story short, issue wasn't with my Markdown, issue wasn't with Eleventy. It was a mistaken if variable in the template that I'm using, and I'll put in a PR for that project so that nobody else runs into that when they don't have an updated date. So now I can get my code to generate using this template fine. I'm just going to need to keep a checklist of the various things that I need to do to each post in order to migrate them over. But in this case, there was not a problem with the post. It was a problem with the project. Let's just see if we can fix the characters we're going to clean here in the URL. I'm going to actually jump over to my actual blog and look at what the URL is for the time zone. And I believe So in this one, date and time just end up getting smushed together. Oh, you know why? Because it's just based on the file name. So I made that myself. The URL. Actually, I'm gonna have to remember this. The URLs in that I used in my current blog were manually made from the file name. So when I'm moving my posts over, I'm probably going to need to manually set the permalink for those posts. So let me just see here. And actually then I wouldn't have needed to use Slugify because the URL would already be set. So TIL, lots of stuff there. Let's just see if I put this in. If I add this permalink and save it, what do we got on my live reloaded page? The URL is cancel. I try to download that. How annoying is it that Safari doesn't show you the preview easily? Hop back to Chrome, put that in. What did it do? Alright, it made the correct URL there. TIL, CFML, date, time, format, time zone. But for some reason, it tried to download it instead of loading the page. Maybe because I didn't, is it because I didn't have a slash on the end of it? Things to remember. Alright, so let's just refresh this one more time. Alright, we don't need to refresh. Browser sync for the win. We have a slash at the end now, so we can click in, and it's broken. Why is it broken? Let's just see if anything with our build broke. It did. Okay. Let's kill this. I'm gonna run a clean build so it cleans out that folder, and we'll find out what our issue is with setting the permalink like that. Alright, looked like there wasn't a problem that time. Nice, works fine. And my URL here, TIL, CFML, date, time, format, time zone, lines up fine. There's more I could do, but I was already on for a bunch earlier today, so I'm going to leave it at that. Bottom line being the really long time that I spent during the first live coding session today. Issue got resolved. So I'm ready to move forward, I think, at this point with moving over a bunch of my posts and then coming up with a checklist for the things that I need to do. For example, adding a post tag, or if I'm not going to add a post tag, use some other way to make an Eleventy collection for them. And then I need to determine how I want to handle the URLs, because my previous URLs had the dates in them, which I think I like, but I just need to sit on that a little bit more to decide if I want to set up redirects or just, manually or in an automated way set up this new blog to match that previous format. All right. That's it for today. Second live stream was not interrupted, and for the first week in a while my connection didn't give out, so I'm going to count that as a win. Happy Friday, have a great weekend, and hopefully I will see you next week.